Yeah, let us all us dummies work over here. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to Project Connect. Hello, good evening. Ow! I thought I heard somebody say, woo! Thank you for being here. This is where the police and the community come together and we come as one. I would like for Trustee Holmes to open us up in prayer.
Got me again. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing the residents out, the positive residents that want to move forward. We ask that you keep your holy arms over this village and over the safetyness of every resident here, from our seniors to our newborn, to our teenagers, to our young men, and to our police department. We ask that you lead us the pathway to safety and keep this village safe. Let's recognize Dalton as being a village that if you're planning on coming this way with any illegal activity, Heavenly Father, we ask that you install in those people to find a church to go to first before you come here to commit a crime. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Trustee Holmes. I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge our mayor is here this evening. Can we give it up for our mayor? Absolutely, absolutely. I would also like to acknowledge our 3 new trustees that are here. Can we give it for Tony Brown? Thank you for being here. Obviously, our preaching prayer Trustee Holmes. That's right. Steve Edwards, how you doing, sir? He's always with us. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. We believe this is where we try to make a difference. When you see us face to face and we see you, and when there's something going on in your community, we have somebody to be held accountable to face without calling 911 and we drive away like, no, remember when you saw me on the street and things didn't get done? Why didn't things get done? We need to be held accountable. We can only be held accountable by you. Is that right? That's right. That's right. So again, thank you for being here. Tonight, we wanted to scratch some things that we had planned, and I wanted us to have a night where we introduced our new chief and our new deputy chief, Chief Mobley and Deputy Chief Lewis Lacey. Give me a round of applause. Thank you.
All right, good evening, good evening. How are y'all doing? I'm glad that these numbers are up. I wanted, this is what I want to see, and I want it to continue to grow. The Project Connect, we're moving forward with that, and it's about community relation building. But what I want to see most and foremost is the youth. And these upcoming months for the summer, we're going to take the meeting out to the streets. In June, July, and August, we're going to be within the village of Dalton. We're going to let you know the designated place and the time, and we're going to take it to the streets. And if you all have been and attended some of our meetings, we do role reversals. That's always a good one. Show of hands who have been with the role reversal last year, where you all played the police and we were the citizens. That's a very good feel, because it lets you see what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And it got real because we put the vest on you, we gave you the toy gun, put the duty belt, and gave you a crash course on being the police, and we set you free. And we were the criminals, and that was a very good one. Also, we're going to have some state representatives to come out and speak to you on certain things. We got that set up for July. So I want you to keep that one. I know I'm skipping June, but I do want you to come out in July, and we're going to have a state rep to come out and give some information as well. We have Deputy Chief Lacey. He's been with the department for quite some while. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to turn it back over to Officer McNeil, and then we'll take your questions or concerns, and we'll go from there. Deputy Chief Lacey.
How y'all doing? Like I said, I'm the Deputy Chief of Police. I have a different way and different style of policing. I'm old school. So therefore, if there's a problem and I'm presented with a problem from the community, I believe in taking care of it. I also believe in the community having my number. You can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess what? If you call me, I'm coming. I'm gonna get a car there first. If it's emergency, you dial 911. But guess what? I'm coming also. So before you get out of here, with the chief, and I support the mayor's office, we are going to combat the things that are going on now. We also have an active TAC team out there right now. I'm also a tactical sergeant with my background. I also have a slew of in my background that I use for the community, and it works. So we're going to work as a community. We're going to take care of the problem. We can't be everywhere, but guess what? We can take care of the things that we need to take care of. Okay?
Okay, before I turn it back over to Officer McNeil, I just want to let you all know that on this weekend, despite everything that was going on in the city and neighboring towns, that we made it through the weekend without a shooting or a homicide, and that's due to the manpower that we increased on the street. We increased that, and we're moving forward. We're actually taking applications right now. We put it back out on the police website. I just passed it on to Trustee Steve so he can put it on the village website, and we're going to continue to accept applications till we get our numbers up and where we want to be. Okay, so I just want to let you know the community is safe. Hey, we're doing what we got to do, and we just want to protect you and build this relationship with the police and the community. Also, moving forward, we're going to have different supervisors and officers to come in when we have these meetings. That way, because it's been police officers here that's been here 20 plus years, and you all don't know. Because if you don't have any negative incidents or get pulled over on a traffic stop, you don't know. But you should know that officer. So when you're riding by, and you can honk your horn and say, hey, Officer McNeil, how you doing, Chief Mobley? How you doing, Deputy Chief Lacey? And that's what it's all about. And we're not Chicago, we're Dalton, so we're smaller, and we want you all to connect with us because we need you as much as you need us.
Ow! Thank you again. I just wanted to say these are two gentlemen. I've been here 18 years. Two gentlemen I've learned a lot from, and I wanted to say to our mayor, thank you, Mayor. This was the mayor's decision. It means a lot to us as a police department to see that police officers from within the ranks are being recognized by our mayor. That means a great deal to us. So I want to say from the Dalton Police Department, Mayor, thank you. Now we'll hear from Trustee Holmes.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming out. I'm going to piggyback on what the chief said over the weekend. All in the media, social media, no representation from the police department. But see, the police department, and the biggest police department was the community, the block by block, the residents on the blocks. If you seen something, you would have said something, and you would have called in about something. So you are the biggest key to the village of Dalton for safety. All down in Skokie, Everston, shootings everywhere. Chicago, shootings everywhere. But it was known that there wasn't a homicide in Dalton over the Memorial Day weekend, which was put out there that it was going to be. It wasn't a shooting in Dalton that was put out there on social media that it didn't be. It was the residents and the prayer through the Lord. Nobody lost a life. No child was shot. Dalton was safe through the weekend. I was riding day and night, just waving at some of the residents, looking at them have a good time, watching the officers roll through, sitting on the corners. Dalton was safe. And that's my message to the negative people that want to put out negative things about Dalton. Don't put out negative stuff about Dalton if you're not part of helping us to end gun violence, end burglaries, end carjackings, help crime go to a zero. And I want to thank you residents first of all, because see, you're the eyes and ears, you're the police, you know how to police your block, you know how to call if you see some, and some of the men, you know how to go out there and tell them, hey, it's not going on this block. Because I know a lot of men out here in Dalton, not afraid to go out there, it ain't happening. I don't care if I knew your mother, your grandmother, it's not happening. That's your grandson, that's your great-grandson, you better get him. You better pray for him. You better put him in church. You better put him in school. Matter of fact, what type of help do you need to help him? We got to help ourselves. We can't keep coming and complaining. And I'm glad to see this room is full. I'm glad about that. Because if you want to help the village of Dalton and help yourself, let's work together. We can't put everything and point everything at the police department. I acknowledge and I pray for them because they were out there over the weekend and they're out there every day. We got to do our part. As far as our children walking to school, women going to work, you know, cars driving up, want to attack and talk to the women the way they want to talk to them. They want to try to get them in the car. But see, we have to stand up and do what we got to do. Last night, Marathon gas station up there. We went there last night. Started selling loose cigarettes, but I got a message for them. It's over. It's over. I was in the store when they were selling them. We was in the store when they sold them to teenagers last night. It's over. It's a done deal. It's about the safety. And that's me being the chair over the police and fire, and that's what I'm going to do. Some of you all I talk to about safety issues, that's what I'm going to do. It's about safety. Crack houses, drug houses, car cracking, it's over. Move. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. The residents going to be able to sit out here in the summertime if there's a shooting or something that goes on. We ask that you look at your doorbell cameras if you got them. We ask that you call if you know who it is. Don't be afraid because we're going to be there. Anything going on in the alleys, you got suspicious stuff going on in your alleys, please call. We're coming. We're going to shut whatever's going on in the alley down. It's over. We got to help the residents. We got to do what we got to do. Those families that are on that block with the houses that are not being kept up, traffic going on, residents can't sleep, it's over. It's time to move on, move forward, so people can come outside and live and sleep at night safe. We have to do that. We got to work with each other. First and foremost, we got to listen to the residents and see what's going on in the community. I might not have the brightest ideas about safety, but guess what? You all do. You all may have a better idea than what I got. It's not about my idea. It's about the community and the residents, because whatever you say needs to be done for our safety, you may have that idea and I don't. I need that idea. And I'm glad you all are here, because see, you may have the key to just shutting down all type of violence, and you got to listen to the residents. You got to listen to the community. There's no big eyes, there's no little U's. Only big eye I know is when I'm on my knees and I'm looking up praying.
Thank you, Trustee Holmes, for them words, and I definitely concur. We need you. We need your eyes and your input. So thank you so much, Trustee Holmes, for them words. Now, if we would accept our mayor, Mayor Rogers.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. I'm just going to say that there has been a change in the police department. I have a signed resignation from our former chief. I put in 2 interim people. I told them it'll probably be from 30 to 90 days. Could be longer, could be shorter. But one of the things that they immediately did that I had been asking for a long time was to put police on the street. They did exactly that. There was 5 officers per shift, I think it was. We had no shootings and no murders over the holiday. And when we're paying police officers $150,000 a year and $140,000 a year because of overtime, things like that, they have to be held accountable. We have to spend our money a different way, and we have to put the officers on the street to protect you. Today, some people, I guess some former employees, decided to hold a press conference today, and I'm surprised that in that press conference there was, I guess there was comments by the police chief and 2 former employees. That's part of moving forward. Our police chief tendered his resignation. He was actively seeking employment from other departments. He said it was because he needed more money. I told him and the deputy chief last year I had no problem with giving them each a $10,000 raise because I thought they were a little bit lower than other departments, what they were paying the police chief and deputy chief. I asked them to go to the board, ask some board members, because if I would have presented it, it would have been knocked down. 99% of the stuff that I present, they knock it down. So the chief told me that he went to the board and they said no. So I don't, if you want to go and look someplace for another job, I got no problem with that. We all have to live, and we all have to try to make improvement among ourselves. So the other 2 employees that decided to go to the press that were terminated was part of the progression of this village moving forward. There may be some other terminations, because for the last 6 years, we have not been operating the way that we should. And it's painful to make changes. People don't like changes, but you have to make changes to move forward. Every time there's a problem on the street, I hear a shooting or a murder. Mayor, what you gonna do about it? They hold me accountable. I'm not the one out there patrolling, but they hold me accountable. And I'm gonna make this village safe. We're spending that kind of money in overtime. We're gonna hire police officers to put them on the street and make the village safe, and hold those police officers and those in command. And I said it right in front of them, and I had a good talk with them. Those in command to do their job. So I wanted to clear that up first. Secondly, I want to say about the gas station. We have enough evidence now. We're holding a hearing at 4 o'clock on Monday. We will be revoking their license. Just as Trustee Holmes said that they went in last night. So we're going to move forward on that. I'm in conversation now. There's a program that City of Chicago has entered into with the county, that if there's fines among businesses that are selling loose cigarettes, they get 33% of the fines that are collected. Goes right to the village or to the town. So we're looking at ways to try to increase revenue, but these things didn't get like this overnight. It's not going to change overnight. So we're going to move forward, and there's going to be more accountability here. So if anyone has any questions, I'll answer them or try to answer them. That's okay. Yes, ma'am.
In the past, I would just call for non-emergencies, see gangs of people trespassing, breaking windows and things, and the police took so long when they got there, 20 minutes or something, they would be gone, and then the next day we would return and try to do the same thing, and I would be out there yelling, "You trespassing," so I guess they got tired of this nutty neighbor who's too nosy. But I live right behind Caston, and midnight, Dorchester from 100 and there to 142nd, from 100 and whatever, so I would say from Menards to 142nd, Dorchester and Caston around midnight is booming. It is because Caston, it's that little street that runs behind the house, and then it runs down the alley, and there are a lot of gunshots, firecrackers, everything, fighting. I've been out there screaming, my dog's barking to distract it. So it does need patrol at night. I congratulate you all, but that is my concern over in that area. Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Well,
your presence.
Yeah, one of the things is that the police can't be everywhere.
I know.
But if we can set up a map, if you will, where those certain instances that happen, where the shootings happen, the time of the occurrence of the shooting, we can develop a pattern and send our police in those areas. And that's what I'm asking of these two gentlemen right here. We've also had the county come in and assist us with patrol, but we have to, it's fine to, hold these type of meetings and look good, but the crime stats tell it all. You have to answer to those things that are happening in the community, and the only way that you can answer to that, and the only way that you see the results is the crime stats. and they haven't been where they should be.
I think the biggest difference for Caston from Dorchester there, where Caston is right there going all the way across, is to keep Caston cut, because when that grass is high and those things grow up, it's a lot of activity back there. I've gone back there and had it cut myself behind my yard and the other yards, so it cannot be bushes and things where they can hide from midnight and on and
Right.
carry on.
I'm going to ask
Yeah.
that, you know, we have a number of vacant houses. We have some grass cutting crews that come out that are cutting grass. If you've got a house that's next to you and, you know, you maintain your lawn, if you can, and they do this in other communities, they cut that vacant house.
I have.
You know,
I have paid.
So I'm not,
That's my neighbors. I'm
Yeah.
the person that's paid for many vacant houses next to me to the corner to be cut $20, $40.
Right.
I've done that years.
but we all have to,
Haven't done Caston.
yeah,
That's the only thing.
but we all have to chip in to try to help
I
out.
have done that.
You
I
know,
sweep.
it would keep our
I pick up
costs
the
down.
trash off the
Yeah.
abandoned houses. I'm one of those neighbors that do not want traffickers to come around my surrounding and think they can go in, because I've had in the past 3 abandoned houses around me that I've kept up.
Mhm.
And so one has been renovated, so it's for sale. And it, you know, if you, it's the one that's on the corner of Dorchester there, the 145th, been abandoned for years. And they did cut the grass, so I don't know who came out and cut it. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Some of these houses that's been abandoned for a long number of times, we're going to get aggressive with them and demolish those. We're getting our connection back with the county to get the demolition done.
Something serious. I always call the village the emergency police number and report it.
Yeah, okay,
Vandalizing, something
yeah. And I want to say that our police station is back open 24 hours now. I didn't, I'm be honest with you, I did not understand that move. I requested it to be back open. It didn't happen right away, but it's open now. So, and it's always been open. There's no way that a police station, a village with 25,000 people should be closed, like Mayberry. We have to be responsive to our people, our residents.
Excuse me, Mayor. I'm sorry, folks. We really appreciate you being here, but so not to take too much of the mayor's time away. If you can limit to one comment or one question. We know many of you have comments and questions. We'll make sure everybody has an opportunity as best we can. Is that okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Officer Joe. I want to first thank Officers Lacey and Mobley, because my experience with you in the past has always been professional, and as well with Joe. The Dalton police officers are top of the line, top notch. My concern is, Mayor, you mentioned Sibley, the marathon, and I'm glad to see that you're finally making motion on that, because we've been trying to get that place shut down since July of last year. But to let the public know, it's more than just illegal cigarettes or loosies that they sell. You know, there's no public bathroom. They prepare their sandwiches in the bathroom that's in the back. It's been known, when you got city inspectors to go inside, if you go in there yourself, and the trustee said he was there last night, if you notice, there is no public bathroom. The place should be closed now. I heard there's a revocation of the license. That revocation should be permanent, because they're a stain on our community. They also own the station at 154th and Cottage Grove, which is the Citco. And again, like the chief said, we're the police. The community is the police. There are more eyes among us than there are the police department. There are more ears among us than there are the police department. But Mayor, I'm glad, I'll give you your accolades, that we should shut that facility down. It's a long time coming. And we can talk about that it should have been a long time ago. Yes, that's true. But we're looking for that hearing, and I hope that all of you all show up at the hearing, because the last hearing on April, and Mayor, you can tell us that date, they had a continuance in April. So hopefully they won't cause for a continuance when they have it at 4 o'clock at whatever that date is, and we all should be there. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, first of all, I want to correct you on a couple of things. If they've converted the bathroom to where they're cooking at or whatever, our health inspector has been in there. And secondly, they are not required to have a public bathroom. Thirdly, they are not the owners, they are tenants. The owner the owner wants them out of there, matter of fact. So we're gonna move forward with the evidence that we have. And it takes time. There's been 3 tickets issued. They paid the tickets. We notified them of a hearing. They didn't show up at the next hearing. This hearing is going forward whether they show up or not. And we plan on revoking their license. And the owner themselves want to move back in that facility and operate. The Marathon gas station is Sibley and Lincoln, Monday at 4 p.m.
Hi, Mayor.
Right here.
I want to report, and I think I mentioned this to
Why don't you move a little closer?
I mentioned this to you once before. I want to report on 145th and Sanderson.
Yes.
Could you hear me?
Yes.
It is real dark on that side.
Right.
Okay. It's one little light going down. It's one light going down toward. Is it Murray or something?
Right.
But it is real dark on that side.
Yeah. That's
it's
part.
too dark.
That's part of where they only had one light in a block
Yeah.
and one on each end.
Well,
So-
it's real dark.
Yeah,
And
so-
the trees are covering the light that is on the block.
Okay, we can get those trimmed up.
You know, so,
That's a wooden pole, isn't it? I think it's a wooden.
No.
Oh, it's a metal pole.
yes.
Okay,
In the
that's our
middle.
pole. The wooden
Yes.
poles are ComEd's.
Right.
Although, from what I understand, previous mayor had some wooden poles put in at different parts of the village. So
It's just the
those are
one.
not our, okay.
And I've been in that house for 28 years, and it's been the
I'll
same.
take a look at it. I'll make sure those trees are trimmed.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. And how can we get a light put up, though?
We have to look at it. We have to look
Okay.
for where the electricity actually comes in. Some of the power for those lights come from the alley, and there's wire that comes from the alley that powers those lights. Some of them are underground. So you have to
Okay.
take a look
I
at
have
it and see.
another question, but I'll catch it on the next meeting, I guess.
Okay.
At 1.
Again, if you do have questions we don't get it to, the police officers will be waiting after the meeting to jot your question down and address them, okay? So you will not be forgotten or miss out, okay? All right, thank you. Ms. Creighton?
Yes, good evening, all. This is to the committeeman. I did not know that we have a new police chief. What happened?
We got a resignation, so we had to fill the spot
We got a resignation from our last meeting.
from our last chief.
No, I'm saying the last meeting, we were talking about Project Connect. So I'm really dumbfounded that we have a new police chief. I welcome you all, but an assistant chief. But I'm thinking about all the Project Connect meetings that I've come to over the last 2-3 years, and the body cam grant that Chief Collins got, the constructive role playing, taking the Project Connect into the community. I'm just dumbfounded. Just like I was when Chief Franklin was let go. It was all of a sudden. Was he not doing his job?
Miss Creighton,
You say, okay,
Miss
you say he
Creighton,
resigned?
I have a resignation.
You have
Where's
a
the resignation?
resignation.
I have a resignation, yes, ma'am.
But you know what? He brought so many programs. That's all. I'm just shocked.
If a person decides to resign,
I understand that.
okay.
Who's next? Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, Mayor?
Good.
I've been living in Dalton since 2008, and I've seen the changes. And like we have the doorbell ring.
Right.
It seemed like it's shootings every night almost. And my question, I'm gonna make it brief. My question is, are people renting their houses out to like maybe low income families, and this is what's bringing the violence?
Well, don't think that any of these communities are immune to that. Okay. One of the things immediately is I've got the resignation to put somebody in place and to put manpower on the street. Okay, but crime and shootings is done on an opportune basis, you know, and we have to confront it. We have to confront it. We have to let these criminals know this is no nonsense town. And we have to make arrests, and we have to be vigilant, I should say, on patrol. You know, in certain communities, you say, hey, don't speed there, don't do that, because you know you're gonna get nailed, you're gonna get caught, you're gonna pay a consequence for it. We have to have the same type of environment here, because if we don't make this community safe, people move. And if the schools aren't safe, people move. And what happens? You're a 30-year resident here, you're on fixed income, you can't go anywhere, you can't move. So we have to address the situation and make the community safe. And our police have to do that. And quite frankly, it hasn't been done.
Okay, Mayor, I got that app too, and I inquired about that just a couple of weeks ago, because this thing goes off quite regularly. Bing, 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 bing. And I've been told that a lot of that is repetitive and bogus, and some of it is not happening. Because I just got tired of it. It wakes me up at night, you know, talking about somebody got shot in Dalton. I just heard shot 5 blocks away. So some of that is bogus. I inquired from the previous chief about it, so I could, because, you know, I was kind of getting a little worried about it, you know. And it'll make you overreact too. So a lot of it is not true. That comes on that ring.
Let me say this. And at night, at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, on Wednesday night or Thursday early morning, and it's quiet, there's shots being fired in neighboring communities, Cal City, Riverdale, South Holland, and you may hear, and you may think it's happening here, and it's not happening here. I hear, you know, sometimes at night, if I hear gunshots, I call right away. I heard it sound like it came from 149th and Cottage or 148th and Champlain. Try to pinpoint it. Police go out and they check it. In some occasions, it's not us. It's happening in a different community, because that sound travels, especially a big caliber gun.
Sir, with the cell phone.
Greetings, residents. I'm glad you came out. 2 things, one suggestion, one a question. The suggestion is there any way possibly we can maybe do any intergovernmental agreements or suggest any intergovernmental agreements with the park district and the school boards? I know particularly with the school board, with the school, the kids are going to be out, so not going to be much traffic, but just in the future, thinking about doing an intergovernmental agreement with them as far as police and just safety in general, because as Dalton moves forward, we need all of Dalton to move forward, which includes our park districts and our school districts. So that's just one thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure where you're going with the intergovernmental agreement, because they don't have police.
No, that's exactly why I spoke about intergovernmental agreement, because they don't. The school districts and the park districts will have private security. But just I'm simply saying, which is going to my next question. I'm presuming we have an intergovernmental agreement with the county sheriffs, correct?
No.
We don't have a partnership with them?
We have a partnership, but there's not any intergovernmental agreement.
Okay, but we have a partnership.
Yeah, we ask for their assistance, and like any other community can ask for their assistance.
So similar to that, and it may have to be a reach from the school board or the park district, maybe the 2 acts of the village. But I'm just suggesting that just so we can be more unified and safe as a whole in the village.
Well.
So that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, those entities in the community, the park district and the school district, we provide them police service. We have a resource officer in Thornridge High School, and when they call for assistance, we respond. Okay. Whether it's at the park district, at the library, or the school district, which are all separate governing bodies and have their own budgets. So it's our responsibility to respond.
Speaking to the partnership with the county sheriff, can you go into detail exactly what that is?
Basically, when we ask for assistance, and we've asked for assistance with police patrols, and they come in, and some of you may have seen them here in the city, and they've made arrests. The other thing is with the demolition of these abandoned houses, we've saved probably $1 million in demolition because the county has done it for us. And we were the first community they did it on a pilot program. They had one crew. Now they've got 2 crews. Other communities are asking for their assistance to save them in money. You're looking at anywhere between $25,000 and $30,000 each demolition that they do, and they did close to 20 of them here. So we've saved that money, and it's just the fact that since everybody's calling them, we can't get them here as frequent as we did in the past.
I'd first like to commend our police officers. I live on 142nd near Minerva. And when I first moved out about 5.5 years ago, it was sort of difficult to be there. But I have a suggestion for security. Our alleys are terribly overgrown. And whenever I call Public Works, they always say, well, it's a community-ran township. And I really, really don't understand that, since I pay taxes, and a lot of taxes, that they don't feel a need to maintain and care for that, because once it's overgrown, it's a real spot for people hiding late at night. So that's my suggestion. If we could work with Public Works to help us maintain, because I don't have equipment to go out and cut overgrown properties as you suggested, but I do maintain my property, which is primarily my responsibility. But the overgrown stuff, I can't do that. So I really would need assistance in that alley to make sure all of that overgrown stuff is, taken away, torn down.
Okay. There's an ordinance in place that requires a homeowner to maintain the immediate area behind their property. Okay. Now, we only have 15 Public Works employees. At one time, there was 26 here. And one of the things I want to do with this new budget going forward is to put more public work employees in place. I'd like to hire at least 5 more, 3 laborers, a carpenter, and a concrete contractor, if you will. Because what we've done when we ask to put in sidewalks and have to do concrete work, we send it out to a third party, which is very expensive for us. So if we had an in-house person, we can buy a concrete wholesale, they can put the forms in and do what we need to do with the concrete and save a lot of money. Now, getting back to the overgrowth, it is the responsibility of the owner to maintain the area in the back of the property where the, up until at least the poles, you'll see the light poles. Consequently, what happens if an owner does not stay on top of it, it gets overgrown. And in some of these vacant houses, no one stays on top of that, so it's overgrown, and we try to take care of that. But the inspectors have been aggressive in issuing tickets for grass and overgrowth, and people complain. But one of the reasons that they complain is because for so many years, there wasn't aggressive enforcement action. And it's unfortunate that you have to penalize people to get them to comply, to be in compliance. And part of the penalty process is issuing tickets. And that seems to move people to do what they're supposed to do in some cases. Some cases we issue tickets and tickets and tickets and tickets, and nothing happens until that house is actually sold. Then those tickets have to be paid off. So, you know, you got to check with your neighbors. You have to clean up behind your property. The other thing is that there's an ordinance in place that says, hey, you must maintain your trees that's in front of your property, even though it's on the parkway. Now, I know if we don't have the equipment to trim these trees, I know you don't have it, you know? So that's something that we need to look into and need to just take that off the books, period, because you can't, you know, if we can't read an 80-foot tree, you can't do it either. Yes. Okay. have to do a better job at that. Yeah, we have to do a better job at that. The board voted this group in called Pro Champs. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but they do get money from some of these banks and mortgage and finance companies for not maintaining their property. So we have to do a better job in making them maintain. Yeah, we have 4 crews just out there cutting grass, and then our public works cut grass also. It's just, especially with all this rain we've had, you know, it's just very true. Like I said, we need to do a better job at that. Some years ago, I wanted to just put one person on that, find out, do the research, who owns the houses, and make those calls and put pressure on them, because if you don't put the pressure on them, send them to collection, things like that, they don't maintain them. Especially, I'm just saying this to be honest with you, especially in black neighborhoods.
So we're going to have one more question. We want to give respect to our mayor. We're so grateful that he's here. Just one more question. So our mayor's very, very busy. We thank you for being so gracious for being here. Yeah, I really appreciate our mayor. So here's one more question, and then we're going to continue. Thank you,
I'm
Mayor.
not that busy, but I am busy. But I just lost another brother 2 days ago.
Sorry.
So I was dealing with that. But with all this stuff that came on TV and all this stuff, I wanted to get that straight, and that's why I'm here tonight.
My condolences to you and the family, Mayor. My question is there some type of rental requirements that landlords must meet when it comes to renting out to residents in the village? And the reason I ask that is because low-income individuals get a bad rap, and it don't always be the low-income individuals, because there's some low-income tenants that's very good tenants, and there's some market tenants that are horrible tenants. But it's a lot of these landlords that's just pushing people through just to get their place rented. So does the village have some type of guidelines that these landlords must meet when they're renting in the village? Thank you.
Now, there's a rental inspection that they have to go through, and pass that before renting the apartment or home. We had a huge landlord here that had probably close to 300 houses, or 400 houses, that would do the initial inspection and would allow the tenant to move in, but would not complete the inspection. And when I was a trustee, I objected to a lot of those inspections. They wanted to make agreement when I first came into office. Hey, Mayor, why don't we just forget about these? And no, we're not forgetting about these, because the tenants are complaining. You didn't comply. You didn't pay for the inspection. You didn't pay for the fines, things like that. So ultimately, they took us to court on a different issue that wasn't even about the rental inspections. So they're gone now, and those properties have been sold and went to other companies or to private individuals. But there is a rental requirement, rental inspection they have to pass before they actually lease the property.
Mayor. Okay. Real quick, I need to get your address and phone number. What I want to do is also work with Public Works, but outside of Public Works, I want to work with your block over there and work with the teenagers over there. I'm going to bring some garbage bags. I'm going to bring some rakes, and I just want to sit there and let us work together and see what we can do to get that grass and get it cut down, and also go after the person who owns that property. And before you leave, I know you're going to get addresses to about the two houses to the village here, but I also need them addresses too, because I'm gonna do what I got to do to work on my end to get a hold of them CEOs of them banks, even if I got to go to their house and show them the pictures of where we living out here and where they living.
Thank you, Trustee Holmes. Thank you again. Again, if you did have a question we didn't get to you, I do apologize. We will be waiting here afterwards, so please come and see myself, our chief, or our deputy chief. And thank you again, Mayor, for giving us your time. Thank you so much, Mayor. We really appreciate it. Can we give our mayor a round of applause? Thank you so much. He's so gracious with his time, and we really appreciate him. Now, I need y'all help as we move on with this meeting. I don't know if you noticed, this meeting takes a lot of work, a lot of participation, cooperation from different departments. Sandra Phillips and so many of our housing department, and they really help us out back there by keep having the doors open. Thank you back there. But I have a special request. So one of my co-workers has been moved around, and because she's a junior guy, she's been moved around back and forth, and she wasn't able to help. But I don't know if you noticed, this is a lot of work, trying to communicate with the public, addressing the public, asking the public to come out, and she's been working hard today, and she didn't have to. So I need y'all to help me beg for Officer Garrett to come back to Project Connect. Come on back there. Come on back. Yeah! Officer Garrett was one before this was official policing program. Officer Garrett had been working it, pounding the pavement. She's been involved in the community way before I got. I love the community, but she was doing it, had the ideas, had the enthusiasm, made the investment, was here times I'm at home with my family. She was here sacrificing, getting to know the community, and I need her back. I need her back. I need her back. Plus, she's prettier than me, so we need her back. Okay, so the public said you got to come back. All right. They voted. The public gets what they want. All right. So we're going to move forward, guys, and this is just about you guys keeping in touch with us. We understand, in our communities, we don't always like calling 911, right? So we encourage you to call our non-emergency number. But you may feel like, well, it's not that serious, and I don't want to be a pest and it's late at night, and we understand all that. So we have a Dalton Police app, okay? We have a Dalton Police app. You can go on your iPhone, you can go on your Android, and it's a Dalton Police app. On that app, you can just bug us all night long. You can take pictures, upload pictures. You can see them smoking in the car. We can see everything, them drinking, doing all crazy stuff, late at night. And you can give us all that, address, location, all that. It never closes. The Dalton Police app, please use that app. It's a great way for us to be aware about what you're concerned with. Those times when we don't get an opportunity to talk, we don't get an opportunity to interact, and it's at your convenience. You can use the Dalton Police app, okay? All right, excellent. Again, what's also on your agenda is the email addresses for myself, for Chief Mobley. I also, if you have a pen and paper, I can give you the email address for Officer Garrett and Deputy Chief Lacey. And this is for those that feel like, I want them to know what's going on, and I'm very long-winded. So long-winded people mean they long type. They can just keep on typing pages and pages and stuff. So we can read everything that you want us to know, and that's great. We invite it. We want to know. We want to be informed because we want to make sure we're serving you to the best of our ability. So there is my work email address, the Chief's work email address, yours, LL Lacey. We have the Deputy Chief, if you want to write this down, the Deputy Chief work email address. This is work email address, so you can't be, don't be putting crazy stuff, don't be emailing us, okay, crazy stuff, okay? You will be held accountable, putting your drawers on this, your drawers be everywhere. Don't be doing that, okay? Just stuff, serious stuff. All right, so Deputy Chief Lacey's email address is LEWIS. I'm LLACEY. I'm sorry. Okay. Chicago's component school system. What you expect? Okay. I'm messing everything up. Scratch everything out. Everything. Turn that camera off, man. Okay. No. So okay. Deputy Chief Lacey's work email address is LLACEY at VO Dalton. Y'all know I spelled Dalton right, don't? Okay, don't be playing with me. .org. All right? And Officer Garrett's work email address is S as in Sam, GARRETT at VODalton.org. Okay? All right? Now, I would like to let all you folk that are here today hear something exciting. Again, Chief Mobley had just mentioned it. I'm going to mention it again for our July meeting, okay? So our July meeting, so we're prepping for our July meeting, so I need you here for June. And I'll tell you why. We're having our simulation again. This was very exciting. You get to be the police. We give you actually a short police academy. We give you some equipment, and we put you in scenarios so you can actually be the police, okay? Now, you can't be beating nobody up because I can see it all over your face. I've been wanting to beat somebody. No, it's not what's going to happen. But you get to see what we do, what we experience firsthand. It's a great experience. It's something you can tell other people about. People, many times we see these things, and we're not here to defend any officer for being unjustifiable, using unjustifiable force. That's not what we're here to do. We are here to educate you on just how sometimes difficult the job may be and what we're asked to do. I really appreciate Mr. Mohammed commending our Dalton Police Officer. Our Dalton Police Officers do an outstanding job keeping you safe and protecting your rights. That is something very near and dear to my heart. I am a member of a church in this community. This is my community. This is my home. That's my home. I make sure nobody mess with the folk at my church. I'm like, who you messing with New Life? Wait. Don't be messing with nobody at New Life Celebration. So I really appreciate my co-workers for treating the Dalton Police residents with dignity, with humanity, with respect, and protecting your rights. However, the job is very difficult, and we want you to see that firsthand, okay? So that's going to be the last Saturday of July. Let me say this first. July. I'm getting to that. In June, I'm going to need volunteers to be a part of, who wants to actually be a part of and participate, to meet me not here at 7, but at 6. Okay? We're going to meet at 6 o'clock, and we're going to have some training. So we're going to do this twice, okay? We're going to do the meeting in June at 6, and also July, right before that meeting, we're going to do it again, okay? There you go. All right, the 27th. So that's July. So I'm preparing your minds. If you want to bring your children out, absolutely. So the time for the meetings for the last Saturday of next month is 7. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's 10 o'clock. June 29th at 10 a.m. Yes, that's incorrect. It's going to be at 10. All right, y'all, listen, I'm a former military guy, I'm a veteran. When my chief give me orders, I take them. Now listen, I'm telling y'all, okay, it's going to be at 10. All right? Go ahead.
But he's just saying it'll be June 29th. It's just the time will change and it'll be at 10 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock.
It'll be at 10.
Okay, so what's the
So we're going to meet at 9 in the morning. I'm sorry, at 9 in the morning. So thank you for correcting me, officer. You see why I need her? I'm lost without her. Y'all don't understand. So we're going to meet at 9 in the morning, June 29th, Saturday. I have a short police academy, okay? Then our meeting for everyone to come is at 10 that morning. That's from 10 to 11, all right? Then in July, I know I'm throwing a lot of information at y'all. This will all be repeated, and this will all be on the website, the Dalton app. This will all be on the Dalton app, so you'll have it at the Dalton app. I'm hypnotizing you to get the Dalton app, okay? You understand the words coming out of my mouth? All right, so. All right, so then we're going to have our simulation meeting, and we're going to do this twice this year. Last year we only did it once. We had a lot of residents that says, "Wow, I missed it. I want to be a part of it. What can I do?" So we're going to have it twice. So ain't no excuses, okay? And we want to make sure you get shot. I mean, you want to make sure that you experience what we go through every time we go to work, okay? So, again, I'm going to say this again, okay? All right? Because I know the information is inaccurate, and we have to change it. So, last Saturday of June 29th, correct, at 10 a.m. That's going to be our meeting for everyone. For all those that want to be a part of the simulation, participate, see me right afterwards, because we're going to meet at 9 that Saturday. okay? So I don't want anybody running out of here, okay, because I'll trip you, okay? I want to see you. Come talk to me so we can be a part of this, okay? All right? So then the following in July, last Saturday in July, we'll meet again at 9, okay? And then have the actual simulation. So next month we will be outside because it's nice. It's nice weather. We're going to have chairs for y'all to sit down. We're going to have water and refreshments. We will be outside at 10 o'clock, okay? Is that okay? All right? So, you know, all the ladies bring your big hats. And outside across the street, in the parking lot right across the street, okay? So I'll bring your big sun hats and everything like that, you know, since I know how you look already. I don't know how you look in your big, you know, hat. Don't bring the church hat, bring the sun hat. Y'all know the one, y'all know the one. So, all right, so, everybody got it? Okay, you got the app now? Look, bam. Bam. She said, I got the app now. That's what I'm talking about. You get it. Okay, all right. All right, so thank you again all for coming out. Again, for all your concerns and complaints, we did not get to you. Please come see us. If you don't talk to us, we don't know. We don't have telepathy. We don't read minds. We don't know what's on your. I know what's on your mind. It's everybody else. I don't know what everybody. But I know what you're thinking. But anyway, all right. So please come see us. We really appreciate you being here. This is for you, Dalton. This is for you. This is not for us. This is for you. So please continue to come out. Please hold us accountable. We want to serve you. Again, thank you for our mayor, for our trustees, and again, introducing our new chief and deputy chief. Trustee Holmes, want to pray us out?
I just want to let you all know so many times that we focus on our community and we think our community is bad. Right before I entered the meeting tonight, Flossmoor, they had a attempt carjacking. And I just want to let you know that it's not only in Dalton. We may get more of it being right next to the city, but it's in every community out here. Every community has a good part and a bad part. So I just want to let you know that I heard that over the EarSperm, which is the Illinois State Police radio network that goes statewide, giving a description of the offender, and if they take the vehicle, the license plate, and so forth. So law enforcement, if they come across these individuals or the vehicle, you could pull them over or pass that information on to neighboring departments. So I just want to let you know that this is everywhere, but we're not focused on everywhere, we focus on Dalton. And one of the things that, like the mayor said, we want to have that stigma and that notoriety of being what they may call the police thirsty. So I wanted to, whereas when you leave out of Calumet City and you come through Dalton, you do the speed limit. When you get out of Dalton and go to Harvey, you can speed back up, and vice versa. Because I'm concerned about Dalton. We support the other communities, but I don't work for them. I work for Dalton. So if you're going northbound, you slow down through here. When you get over into Riverdale, fine, or Chicago, fine. Southbound, South Holland, fine. But we want to increase our presence. We want to slow down these drivers. We want to slow down, penalize people that's throwing garbage out. Because it's sad that when you go in certain communities, and I don't have to name them, and I say that we live in modern day slavery because when you go in certain communities, you don't do certain things. But when you come in your own community, you act a fool. So what is that? So we want to have that same stigma as like some communities have. Don't mess around in Dalton. Slow down. Do the speed limit. Don't lollygag. Don't litter. Somebody was just using the restroom across the street while I'm standing out there. Didn't see me. I went over there. And had an officer come over there. Hey, we went and took him and sit him down. Sit him down for a minute and give him a fine. You know, how you gonna do that across the street from the Village Hall? So that might be our next move as we build up downtown, shutting down that liquor store. All right? So we're gonna have Trustee Holmes pray us out. And you all, I appreciate you all coming out, and I wish we have these numbers every time we have this meeting and increase, because like I said, we need you all as much as you need us. Thank you.
Can we all stand up? Stretch and let the blood flow. Heavenly Father, we'd like to thank you as we look toward the hills, as we move forward. We're not thinking about the past or thinking about backwards. We're just trying to see what we can do to help our people, not only in the United States, in the village of Dalton, but throughout the universe. We ask that you change the wicked ways of the evilness of people that prey on us and try to make Dalton look bad. We ask that you help them heal their heart and change their wicked ways. Shield those who are here today that are leaving to go home to be with their loved ones, because we know in a matter of a second that we leave them, they can be gone. So we cherish this moment, from the mayor to the trustees to the police to the people in the village of Dalton, just to give some thanks to Christ himself and say, I love you. Amen.